just gone and picked up a delivery that my dad kindly took to the post office yesterday and got it sent to the lockkeeper's house just up here, as the lockkeeper kindly offered I could get my parcel sent there. Something on the engine went, so we're going to see what that is, shall we? Knife out. Hey, this is like doing one of those unboxing videos. It's not going to be that exciting. Here we go. Got two of them, so I've got spare, as I only replaced this one 2 years ago, but I think they do recommend that you replace every year or every 2 years. It is a new impeller. So ports, I think left port side engine. As I say, I did replace this, I want to say 2 years ago.
A few moments later.
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago. It definitely wasn't any less. That's good, you get different gaskets. So these are what draws in raw water, which obviously is river water, and then that helps to cool the coolant in the engine. So I had spoken about this before. Again, I think it was on might be my boatyard videos, I can't remember. Anyway, so you have the coolant running through a jacket. Surrounding that jacket or next to it, you then got the raw water, so it runs very close and it cools down, as I say, the engine cooling. What I think's happened here is I think most of the fins have come off it, because it's pumping some water through. But the first thing that I checked was my seacock filter. It just had nothing in it, so clearly this wasn't drawing anything in, or something's blocking it. But this seems the more obvious choice, so we can do that today. I say we because you're coming with me. Let's do it. I need to change. Let's be hip and trendy and give it one of those. First thing to do, move everything off this floor panel, pull it up, go and turn the seacock off, put it back down, move everything here, then lift this floor up and start working on the engine. You know I'm going to whack myself on there. I can fold it away, but I'm literally just turning this off, so I won't. If you can see in there, there's the tap. Just got to shut that right off. And then, as I say, put everything back. Yes, there is some oil under there. They are 51-year-old engines. I feel like I'm on a coffee break already. Right. So I don't know how much of this I'm going to be able to film, because it is. Let's bring it over. I don't know if you can see. It's below the alternator, so I need to take this air inlet manifold off. I think there's a couple of pipes I have to take off to do that. Air filter off, alternator off, and it's below there. It's a real fiddly job, so we'll see what we can film, but I'm not very good at filming stuff when I'm getting aggravated with a job. Some might say that's not the attitude, but see what I can do. Open up shop. I think I'm all out of rubber gloves. Okay. blocking the camera already. Sometimes the first 5 or 10 minutes I feel like it's going to dictate how the job's going to go. Like I said, it's more to do with your own where you are mentally on the day than anything. So that's 4 13mm headed bolts out. Let's get the manifold out the way. Oh, actually, see, that's a positive. I've got to take those positives. I haven't actually got to remove the alternator, I don't think. Let's, I'll get a torch and put the camera down there so you can see. Okay, torch in hand. Gonna have to go upside down with the camera. So that should be right on it. You see a round metal plate with 1, 2, 3, 4, what's that, 6 screws on there, is it? Yes. So that's what I've got to take off, and the impeller's behind there. Doesn't seem a huge job, and it isn't, providing none of those screws get dropped. If I put a tub down there or a rag like I did last time, that should help. Right, I'll put the camera back down there. I've got the 6 screws off and the plate. There's the impeller in there. You're actually seeing what state it's in before I am, because I can't really see it at this angle. Well, actually, no, you're not, are you? Because by the time I've edited it and pulled it out anyway. Hey now. Okay, so that's a little bit worrying. There's nothing really wrong with it. I was a bit surprised, which means there's a blockage. And also, this has obviously gone round the system and come out from the old one, I'm guessing. But the old one was really disintegrated. I mean, it's certainly not off that one. Obviously I'm going to put the new one in anyway, but all I can think of is that this heat exchange, and obviously that gets blocked. Like I remember my mate saying, where the old one had perished so much, it blocks up the fins in this. I really don't want to take that off. Maybe if I can take the end caps off and see what that's like. But I'm just a bit. I did see one of these, as a spare one somewhere on the boat. I don't really want to take that exhaust off, because obviously that exhaust, it has water running through it, and I haven't got another gasket, and I just don't want to give myself all sorts of problems. But anyway, first thing to do is to get this one in, smother it in Vaseline, and yeah, whack it in. Please send your jokes to Walking on Water, A Life Afloat, P.O. Box. Hey now. That's a new one in. I'll just stick the camera down there so you can see. There we go. Hope that's looking all good. You have to kind of twist the fins, you know, back from where it's going to turn a certain way, because it's so big fitting in the aperture. You need those fins turning the right way, because obviously if they're turning forward, then they're going to like rip off a lot easier. Looking at this old one, thinking, well, I was expecting some of these to come off, but it isn't just that. These, I'm seeing these blades, some of them feel weaker than others, like that one and that one, which is actually standing more proud. Hey now. Too many hey nows on this video. Whereas some of them here, that bends a lot easier, and you can see they're going off at a bit of an angle. So I'm hoping that that's enough. These 3 here in particular, and what was happening was you'd hear the gargle when the engine's running. You could hear the water going through the system and nothing would come out, and then there'd be a big splosh of water, technical term, and then another little bit, and then there wouldn't be anything for ages. So still could be it. And plus obviously this bit's turned up from somewhere. I think that's almost gone around the system or was stuck in the pipe. That, you know, that could either be affecting hitting the blades like this, or it could actually be blocking the you know, the inlet or the outlet of the pump. So fingers crossed. I'm still hopeful. Found in my toolbox some blue Hylamar. That was from days when I was a mechanic. Put another gasket on there as well. sometimes you can be working on a boat and just feel a bit of a rock. It hasn't just happened, but and you'll find somebody with like 1 foot on the boat holding on to the stanchion rail, or somebody's taking a photo of them. I should be flattered. Flattered, Andy, not flattered. You sound like you used to be a mechanic. Actually, when I was an apprentice, I used to work with a guy who, so I was like 16, 17, I think 17 at the time, and he was like 26, but to me he was like, I don't know, could have been in his 40s. You know, when you're that young, that anything over 19 seems really old. But he was well educated, well spoken, and I caught up with him years later. I think he invited me to a house party, and he was going for his pilot's license for a commercial airline. Don't think I'll be doing that. Well, I've got 4 of the screws in, 2 more to go. I was just thinking about that whole Hylamar and everything. I'm from an era where in the early days, if you were doing a DIY job, and I'm pretty sure my dad had done this, if you didn't have a gasket, or you'd order some parts and the gasket would be wrong, then you'd go and make one out of an old like cornflake packet or something. Yeah, I'm from that era. Oh, I bet there's people like younger than me going, what? Or there's people going, yeah, we still do that shit now. Just about put the air intake manifold on using a blue Hylamar because I haven't got new gaskets. When did I give up being a mechanic? I'm 54, literally in a couple of weeks. I think I was 41 or something. 41 or something. Okay, there's one bolt in. If anyone wonders where that hey now comes from, whenever there's a sexual innuendo, even if it's unintended, I wouldn't think it now, but I started lifting weights about 16, and I still do a bit now, but I've slimmed right down, and my body's quite broken, to be fair, because I competed in strongman as an amateur. Did that for 5 years, did competitive bodybuilding for a couple of years, did a bit of arm wrestling, and that's without all the I think what Americans call pee-wee sports, you know, skateboarding, and I did a bit of windsurfing, BMXing, roller skating, judo. Did one competition in judo for grading. But what I was going to get at, used to be a powerlifter named Mark Bell, and he's got a podcast, and that's where that came from. His is one of the first podcasts I used to watch a lot of. Air intake manifold back on. Going to put that banjo bolt on. So the reason I call banjo bolts is you have a pipe with a union coming in the side, so that's where the banjo side comes for it. Obviously this pipe and this union, it has a hole in the union there, and then you have a bolt that runs through that to hold it in place, but the bolt normally has a hole in it as well. Alright, we're there. What I must do is remember to open up the seacock again, obviously to let the water through. You've got more chance when you put Vaseline on there, but if it doesn't have water flowing through, you wear that rubber out on the raw water pump really quickly. Oh, and by the way, I think we should have a moment's silence for the 2 tools that I dropped down there. Tried to find with the sea searcher and couldn't, possibly never to be seen again.
Why am I so sad?
Fingers crossed. Before we give it too much revs. It's not a good sign. I'll firstly say that the only reason I left the engine running with what appeared to be no water going through was because I put all that Vaseline around the new impeller. Otherwise it would have been ruined by now. With no water coming out at all this time, I realised that apart from changing the impeller, the only other thing I'd done was to turn the seacock off, or shut the seacock off and reopen it. and it was now worse. So it had to be something to do with that seacock. I didn't get any of this on film because because of what I had to do. So leaving the seacock open, I took the cap off, and obviously water should come pushing through because you're essentially opening up a hole in the hull of your boat, but nothing really came through. Luckily I had this, so I started prodding that down the hull. Hey, now it was solid. The other side of the hull, fiberglassed in, is like a plate. If I remember rightly, it's a plate with holes in it. I managed to push all the way through there, and I was pushing it, you could see all these bits coming up. It took 3 attempts of poking this down, water started coming through. I'd panic a little bit, shut it off, restart the engine, it was a little bit better, and I did that a further 2 times until the water really started coming through. I'll add now that yes, the impeller did need replacing. It wasn't a waste of time because obviously for a few days this had been running almost dry while there'd been the blockage.